Temporarily from the Grand Canyon state of Arizona, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, January 21st, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.09 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,209 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 6.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $921. Antiwar.com reports the status of the Syrian rebel forces has always been a serious source of concern ahead of the peace talks, and that's no different this time with Monday's Astana peace talks looming. This time is a little different, however, with a significant rebel delegation agreeing to attend, but growing division among the various rebel factions, particularly along the lines of who their primary backer is. The Astana talks are brokered by Russia and Turkey, and unsurprisingly, the rebel delegation is overwhelmingly made up of Turkey-backed rebel groups, while the U.S.-backed and Saudi-backed groups are taking a back seat if they're sending anyone at all. The rebels who aren't in positions of leadership aren't too happy, complaining that the talks in general are meant to split the rebel forces and accusing them of being a Russian plot. The exclusion of Al-Qaeda's Nusra Front also remains a major source of annoyance among some rebel groups that remain closely aligned to them. The complaints about rebel division resulting from the peace talks are the focus now, but the bigger danger will be that the divisions are imperiling the talks, leaving open the question of how much the delegation can actually deliver on promises they make.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
UPI reports drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman appeared in a U.S. court on Friday after his surprise extradition from Mexico, and he pled not guilty to charges that he ran the world's largest drug trafficking organization during a decades-long criminal career. Guzman, once one of the world's most wanted drug lords, was accompanied by two court-appointed lawyers during his appearance in federal court in Brooklyn. Better known by the nickname El Chapo, or Shorty in Spanish, the diminutive Guzman was extradited on the eve of Donald Trump's inauguration, raising speculation about the timing. Some officials said it was an olive branch to the incoming U.S. president, who had said he would kick Guzman's ass after taking office. But some Mexican officials pointed out that Guzman's extradition came hours before Barack Obama's term ended in a nod to the outgoing president. Either way, current and former law enforcement officials on both sides of the border said the move would likely boost security cooperation and smooth the path for improved relations between the neighbors. The Mexican Attorney General's office rejected claims that the move was related to Trump's swearing in, noting that Guzman faces 10 pending cases in Mexico following his U.S. sentence. In court, El Chapo did not appear to be wearing handcuffs and had no visible expression on his face as he listened to questions from a judge. After U.S. Magistrate Judge James Orenstein asked El Chapo if he understood the accusations against him, he responded through a Spanish interpreter, "Well, I did not know until now." Later, when asked again, Guzman said he did understand. An additional hearing was scheduled for February 3rd.
For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports more than 200 people were arrested in Washington, D.C. on Friday, as well as dozens more across the United States following scattered protests against President Donald Trump that turned violent. In the nation's capital, authorities said at least 217 people were arrested and charged with rioting for disruptive conduct that included throwing objects, breaking windows, and even setting a limousine on fire. The demonstrations caused what police called significant damage and resulted in the injury of 6 Washington, D.C. police officers. Many of those arrested will be charged for rioting for their demonstrations, some of which carried over from Thursday night. In some parts of Washington, D.C. on Friday, protesters slowed down or stopped the advance of pro-Trump supporters seeking to enter the National Mall to observe the swearing-in. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.